The large building to the left is the old Racket Hall, built by the 13th Earl of Eglinton in around about 1842. That is a few years after the Eglinton tournament. This cottage here was used by the man in charge of the power station. Across the way, the two buildings there, the angled roof, that was at one point a gas power station, or provide gas for lighting and so on, and later converted to a coal-powered electricity generating power station. This is the oldest covered games building in Scotland and the oldest racket hall, racket court in the world. Rackets is a game a little bit like squash. Not played very often these days, but there's still a court at the Queen's Club where the tennis tournaments are held before Wimbledon. Rackets developed from a time when the aristocracy were often jailed for non-payment of debts, and they used the simple walls that were available in the prisons for inventing the game of rackets. Rackets is the fastest of all the ball games. The ball itself is extremely hard. It's made of cloth, wetted and then wrapped, and then that process continued to get a ball shape. During the Second World War, this building was used to store batteries from the lorries that were kept here for the army, but was restored within Eglinton Country Park by Irvine Development Corporation. The racket hall ceased to be used, not exactly sure when, probably the late 20s. However, for some odd reason, another small outdoors racket hall was created. And this angle of the roof on the wall of the old racket hall is the only remnant of that. The building had a stone flag floor, which still exists. It was now covered with a wood floor. And it was built before the rules of rackets were codified, the result of which it's slightly larger in terms of floor space. The Earl employed rackets professionals, and some of the world champions were in his employment. The upper area was an observation hall. There was a fireplace up there, so people watching the games could keep warm. It's now in use as a games hall in terms of bouncy castles and so on for parties and exhibitions and so on. A very useful building to this day.